Hi, I'm Ryan of Night Fox Wild About Learning, and I'm joining Coed Lleol today, part of the Small Woods Association, to deliver a small session about trees. I'm here today at Denmark Farm, which is a 40-acre nature reserve. It's a great place to come and learn about your trees, and they have this great oak tree mosaic, which just shows the importance that trees have for wildlife. We're going to have a look at this one first. Any guesses what it might be? Come and have a closer look. So, any guesses? This is the elder, also in Latin Sambucus nigra, and it's actually part of the honeysuckle family. So we're going to have a look at these leaflets. So the leaf pattern is pinnate, which means that it has lots of little leaves on the one leaf stalk. These are known as leaflets, and usually you'd have sort of 5. Sometimes you might have 7, but yeah, mostly 5. And they've got slightly serrated edges to them. And at this time of year, they're starting to sort of go a reddy, pinky colour, whereas they're more sort of bright green earlier on in the year. So also, obviously, we've got these bright purple berries, which are full of vitamin C and good antioxidants. So it's good for this time of year when you're starting to get cold and flus, and you can make them into syrups and cordials and things like that. It has this sort of quite sort of piffy soft bark, which you can sort of push your thumbnail into, and the slightly bigger stems, the pith just pushes out so you can make nice little wooden beads from it. In folklore, it was believed that the devil was scared of this tree, so people used to plant it outside their houses, and it's also known as the Judas tree, because they believe this is the tree that Judas was hung from. Although it's more of a shrub than a tree, so I don't, it's quite flexible and bendy, so I'm not sure about that one. Obviously, early on in the year, you'd have the elderflowers as well, which again are really good for you, and you can make cordial and syrups and champagne from that as well, so very good. Obviously, you've got to make sure you leave enough of these for the insects and the birds, which usually there's quite a lot higher up, especially on these bushes. So yeah, if you just want to come a bit closer, we'll just have a look at this bark, because this has got quite a good stem to it. And yeah, it's sort of quite cork-like and soft. And yeah, quite a nice example, this one. Okay, so we're going to go have a look at another tree. So we're going to have a look at this one next. And this one's the Guelder Rose, Viburnum opulus in Latin. Also known as cramp bark, because it has medicinal uses from the bark. And we've got quite a nice comparison here as well between the two, of the leaves changing, so they go quite red in October and sort of getting more ready to drop, whereas they're still quite sort of green on this one. So if you want to come and have a closer look at the leaf formation, so it's quite a unique shaped leaf. Someone once described it as a dinosaur foot, which I thought was quite a good description. And they've also got these little glands on the leaf stalk, if you can see those. Only these and the cherries have these, so they're quite a good way of identifying that you've got the right tree. Might be a little bit more visible on the slightly greener leaves. There we go. So yeah, having a look at the bark. So when you're looking at the bark as for cramps medicine, you're looking at the sort of older, browner bark. So what you could do is you could cut a section off and take the bark off and boil it up as a decoction to drink as a herb tea, or make into a tincture. And this is good for any sort of cramps, from periods to leg cramps, whatever sort of cramp you've got. They're also used, because they're really straight, for making arrows as well. If we have a look at the berries, the berries are very bright, sort of bright, translucent, really juicy, and these make a really good jam jelly. Obviously you've got to be careful with some berries, because they do need cooking before you eat too many of them, but they do make a really nice jam jelly, one of the best I've had from the wild plants. Some people say it smells a bit like wet dog when they're making it. We didn't find that, and it was very tasty. Some books, they don't even bother making it into a jam, but I highly recommend it. It's a very nice one. So yeah, so this is the Guelder rose. We'll go find another tree. We're going to have a look at this one next. So this is hawthorn, Coedagus monogyna in Latin. So again, they've got quite distinctive leaf forms on them. That's quite a big one. They sort of don't get much bigger than that. Some of them are quite a bit smaller, even at this time of year. But yeah, it's quite a distinctive pattern to the leaf, slightly serrated on the edges, and yeah, at this time of year they're quite waxy. They have these spikes on them as well, which is where the name hawthorn comes from, is the thorns. So they're usually sort of this sort of size, and they've been used to make fishing hooks in the past. There's even some really big ones on this one if they get left to it. That's a pretty deadly spike there. So hawthorn has a lot of uses. In spring the leaves are edible. They don't have much of a taste. And then obviously in May, it's also known as the May tree. May is when the blossom comes out, and the blossom is really tasty, quite a nice little snack. And the leaves and the blossom together were known as bread and cheese, a little snack, or you could add them into your sandwich. And then obviously we've then got the berries. These have got quite nice big, and yeah, they're quite juicy now as well, so these are ready to use. So you can make these into hawthorn ketchup, which is really nice. I'm not a fan of ketchup, but I do like a bit of hawthorn ketchup. And they're also made into fruit leather. So yeah, quite a few uses there. Obviously you always make sure you leave enough for the birds and the wildlife. As a medicinal tree, hawthorn is known as the tree of the heart. So it's really good for strengthening the heart, anything to do with the blood and the circulation. It will level out your blood pressure. So it's a good tree to know, and you can use the leaves, the blossom, and the haws for this, the little berries. So yeah, very good tree to know. It's also believed that the hawthorn was the tree that was used to make the crown for Jesus, with the thorns on the crown there. So yeah, it's got quite a lot of good uses with this one. So yeah, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this video covering some of our native trees with berries. We're hoping to do a load more videos covering trees through the seasons, having a look at tree buds, blossom, nuts, leaves. If there's any trees that you'd really like us to cover, please drop a comment below. And please check out the other videos on the Coed Lleol YouTube page. There's got lots of great videos on there. Please subscribe and like this video. If you'd like to visit Denmark Farm Conservation Centre, please look them up. They're near Lampeter. It's a beautiful nature reserve, open to the public, so you can go walk round and have a look at some of these trees. And also there's some great courses out there as well, where you can have a look at these trees in person by a trained practitioner. I also run some courses, but there's lots of great ones out there, so have a look into some courses. And yeah, please subscribe. Well, I've been Ryan of Night Fox Wild About Learning, and we've joined Coed Lleol today. So yeah, please check out any of their other videos, subscribe, like, comment, and thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Bye!